Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now, in the polls, I put a poll up on my YouTube community tab, and 4 of you voted to yes, that you wanted to see me do a story video about the 3 whitetail bucks that I've taken in Missouri in the past, I don't know, few years, because I've only hunted in Missouri, at least legitimately hunted there, about maybe 3 times or so. So yeah, so these bucks are pretty much what I got. So I'm about to show them to you now. Now the first buck I have right here is my first deer that I've shot, and he's this little 7-point, and to me he's not actually a really bad little 7-point. He's got a very long, he's got some pretty nice long back tines for a 7-point. He also has one of his G2s broken, so he was probably in a few fights. He's got this interesting little hook brow tine right here, and he also has no brow tine right here. So I'll tell you about this buck first. So it was me and my neighbor Mike, because I go to Missouri with him before. It's been a while since I've been there now, but one morning, him and his brother took me and him to the area to get into where our blind is. Now our blind was on the ground right next to a field, and right behind us was like this big creek. And after Jeff, his brother, dropped us off, we managed to get into the blind. We were getting all of our stuff ready. We got the guns set aside. We still had the door of our blind open, and we were just shuffling around, getting all of our stuff ready. And I wasn't paying attention, and then all of a sudden, I think Mike heard the sound of something rustling right next to us as we were still getting ready. And all of a sudden, this buck comes out from the bushes right beside our blind and starts walking right out into the field. Now we were still getting ready, and I'm so surprised that he didn't get spooked off when he heard us rustling around. So we quickly sat down. I got my gun ready and stuff. He's probably walked maybe, I don't know, 15 yards out in the field. And then, so he was starting to walk out in the field. He turned around, started to walk away. I aimed right at him, pulled the trigger, and he jumped up and started running a little bit down the field. And I think I got him, but to make sure that I did, Mike grabbed the gun from me, loaded another round in, because like I said, this was my first time hunting, so I was kind of got that little buck fever. So he managed to finish it off. So this is basically my first deer, my first buck that I've ever shot. And like I said, he's a pretty nice buck for a little buck, especially for my first time. And now that this buck's out of the way, I'm about to show you one of my other bucks. Here is my 8-point. Now, I tried to get him to have in the European mount. So, but I left him in Missouri so that Mike's brother Jeff can try to make this guy into a European mount. They left. I haven't seen this deer. I want to say I shot this deer back in, goodness, maybe 2011, 2012 or so. And And I haven't seen this buck in almost a year, because I thought that they were gonna my neighbor Mike was gonna drive back to come get this buck. They left this buck out so long that they just really didn't do a good job. Jeff didn't do much of a good job trying to like get the stuff off, but whatever, it is what it is. But all in all, he's also a pretty nice deer. He's got these nice big 8-point. He was the biggest deer I've shot at the time. I'll show you my biggest deer after I'm done showing this guy. So the story with this guy here is that one morning, me and Jeff, Mike's brother that I go hunting with, because his brother Jeff, yeah, like I said, he lives in Missouri, and we go there to hunt with him on his property and this property of this other old guy that we know. So me and Jeff took his truck out into this big piece of property, which they call the cemetery, or yeah, the cemetery, and which is not really a cemetery at all. It's just a nice big beautiful piece of property. And we sat up on this hill in his truck waiting for some deer to come by, because we were overlooking a field, or not a field, it was more like a hill. And across the hill was this other ground blind that we didn't go into, but it overlooks this other field. So we're overlooking the field, overlooking the ground blind that was overlooking the field that we're looking down. We didn't see any deer for about maybe, I want to say 30 minutes, 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden, somewhere in the property, we heard gunshots going off. So me and Jeff took the truck, we drove around the property to try to find where the gunshots were coming from, because it was pretty close within the property that we were shooting on. So we were driving around looking for the people. I was looking out the passenger side out in the forest. He was looking into the other trees trying to look for the guys. I'm trying to look for the guys and the deer also. Then all of a sudden, Jeff stopped the truck, and I go, "What's going on?" And he points, and as he pointed, and I turned my head, there was this buck. He wasn't broadside. He was like literally, he was halfway hiding behind a tree, hiding from us. So he asked me, he told me to get the gun and stuff, and I kind of used him as a rest. He was holding the gun in his hand like this, and like moving his head like that to try to like get his ears away from the blast. And I try to get it as good as I can, because this deer, like I said, this deer was hiding behind a tree, barely hiding behind a tree, looking at us. So I aimed for one of his shoulders, because that's what I was told. So I aimed for one of his shoulders, even though he wasn't broadside. But I squeezed the trigger, took the shot, and you know how when you take a shot, especially with an uneven rest like me using him as a rest, I totally thought that I missed that deer. But it turned out that the deer, I didn't. I hit the deer. He like did like a full like back, like fell straight on over on his back legs and fell over. And then he died right there. So I can say that this buck did not get away. So that was another good, successful hunt. He was perhaps my biggest deer so far. And now I'll show you my biggest deer. And here he is. This is I'm trying to remember. I think he's a 10 point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, 10 point. He's my really big 10 point. And now this buck has really cool character on him. He's got some of his tines chipped off. And I guess when he was in velvet, this tine right here has like this little knot in it. So I'm guessing when he was walking around the woods, when he still had his velvet, he bumped into a branch, I'm sure, broke that, and then it grew into this like little knot right here, and it's bent. Now the story about this buck here is that me and Jeff, again, I think I got this, I'm trying to remember now where I got this buck. I think it was 2015. It was around 2015. And me and Jeff went to this one other property, and then we didn't see any deer for about maybe 30-40 minutes. So we decided to head to the area where I got my 7-point like another few years ago. And because like I said, right where that field in that blind is, there's a creek, a nice big creek right there. And they put a tree stand overlooking the creek and that field. So me and Jeff got into the tree stand. We sat there for about maybe 10 minutes. All of a sudden we hear a noise coming from the creek. There was this doe that was walking in the creek, and she looked exhausted, like she was panting up a storm. And we watched her walk down the creek, and she just walked up a hill, out of the creek up into a hill, went into the cornfield right almost next to us. And we both looked at each other, we were like, what the heck was that all about? And then as soon as she left, we looked up, and turning a corner really fast, overlooking the hill that leads down to the creek to that field, came out this buck. He like hauled, like completely like turned the corner, ran down the hill, stopped. He looked for that doe, and then he turned around and went back up. And Jeff's like, get your gun. And I got my gun. I got it ready. He was up the hill, and I try to, because like I said, this guy wasn't broadside neither, but I definitely got a good shot on him. So I squeezed the trigger, and he went down right there. He tried to get up a little bit, but then he fell straight back down. And then he expired right there. But what was also really interesting, as soon as I shot this buck, another doe came out the same corner. I guess she followed him, and she snorted, and then she ran off. So, yeah, talk about a very fast, very easy hunt, man. I mean, this guy's amazing. I'm so happy that I got this guy, because just like the other deer, I did not know that if I got him or not, because the recoil of the gun. So yeah, so there you have it. You all wanted me to tell the story, so those are the 3 bucks that I took in Missouri. So I really thank you all for watching, and for those who come across this video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all next time. Have a good day, everyone.